podcast. Real news analyzed by real intelligence.
Ever feel like you're living in a sci-fi movie? I mean, my fridge tells me when I'm out of milk, and don't even get me started on what my phone tries to predict these days.
It's wild, right? Like we're already living in the future, but nobody gave us the user manual.
Exactly. And this deep dive is all about making sure we're not just along for the ride. We're tackling AI in a world where, well, everything's connected. And trust me, it's already more intertwined than most people realize.
Way more. I mean, most of us interact with some form of AI every single day without even thinking about it.
Which is kind of the point today. We're going deep on a fascinating article that breaks down how AI is weaving this massive web. Ready to untangle it all.
Absolutely. Let's unravel it. What I found really eye-opening was this concept of a global digital nervous system. It's like, whoa, that sounds big and maybe a little creepy, right?
Global digital nervous system. Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me. Give me an example so I know we're not talking about robots taking over the world yet.
All right. No robot overlords yet. But think about it this way. You're running late for, well, something important. You ask your smart assistant for a traffic update, right?
Every single day.
And behind the scenes, it's not just checking one traffic app. It's tapping into AI, GPS satellites, maybe even traffic cameras, and who knows, maybe even your neighbor's car if they're using the same navigation app.
So it's like this whole chain reaction of information, all powered by AI, happening in milliseconds.
Exactly. And the article really drives home how AI acts as the connective tissue, allowing all these different systems to talk to each other. It's wild.
So it's less about robots making our coffee, though I wouldn't say no to that, and more about AI being this invisible conductor behind the scenes, orchestrating our digital lives.
You got it. Dr. Emily Chen, she's a leading AI expert, by the way. She calls AI the synapses of this digital nervous system. And it's not just happening on our phones, it's going down on a global scale.
Global scale, what does that even look like? Are we talking like AI running entire cities now? Okay, now I'm a little scared.
Think about a city where traffic lights adjust in real time based on traffic flow, or where emergency services are automatically dispatched by AI based on live data feeds.
Okay, I have to admit that sounds kind of amazing, especially the new traffic part. But hold on, if AI is managing our cities, what about our jobs?
It's easy to get caught up in those "robots are stealing our jobs" headlines. But this article digs deeper than those anxieties. It actually highlights how AI is creating entirely new industries and roles.
Okay, so less doom and gloom, more like opportunity knocks. I like where this is going. But like, what kind of jobs are we talking about? Give me an example.
Think about AI trainers. These are people who essentially teach AI systems how to think and make decisions. That's a job. Or how about AI ethics consultants who make sure those systems are being used responsibly?
So you're saying that AI is literally creating jobs that didn't exist a few years ago? That's insane. It reminds me of when social media first blew up. Suddenly, everyone needed a social media manager.
Exactly. Nobody even knew that was a job until it existed. And that's just scratching the surface. What's even more mind-blowing is how AI is impacting global trade.
Wait, AI is changing the global trade game. I thought it was all about those robots packing boxes faster in warehouses.
There is that, but it goes way beyond just automation. We're talking about breaking down language barriers and opening doors to markets that were previously impossible to reach.
Hold on, how is AI changing languages in business?
Imagine a world where you don't need a human translator to seal a deal on the other side of the world. That's the potential here. AI-powered translation could be huge.
That's a game changer, especially for businesses trying to go global.
Exactly. So while automation is definitely a part of it, this is about empowering businesses from small startups to big corporations to connect and collaborate on a whole new level.
So what you're saying is this isn't just about robots coming for our jobs. It's about adapting and being ready to jump on these new opportunities AI is creating. I'm starting to feel less nervous and more excited, actually.
Exactly. It's about understanding the bigger picture and realizing that we can leverage AI and work with it.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. But speaking of leveraging AI, what about creativity? We've all seen those AI-generated images and heard the music. Does this mean human creativity is going to be obsolete?
The million-dollar question, right. This article dives right into that debate, honestly. It's complicated. On the one hand, AI is definitely making creative tools more accessible.
Totally. Like, I'm not about to win any songwriting awards, but I can mess around with an AI music app. I even almost kind of wrote a song the other day, not bad for a beginner.
Right. It's like having a world-class studio musician or a ghostwriter right at your fingertips, available 24/7. But that brings up another issue. How do you stand out in a sea of AI-generated content?
That's a really good point. If everyone and their grandma can churn out a catchy song or a crazy good painting just by clicking a few buttons, doesn't that kind of cheapen human creativity?
That's the challenge, right? This article quotes Sophia Patel. She's a digital artist, and she says, we're competing not just with each other, but with machines that can produce content 24/7. It makes you think.
Competing with machines that don't need sleep. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
So where does human creativity even fit in then?
I think it's less about fighting the machines and more about figuring out how to work together. Think of AI as a creative partner, one that can help you with technical limitations, bounce around new ideas, even break through creative blocks.
Less human versus machine and more like human with machine.
Exactly. AI can definitely help us push the boundaries of what's possible, but it still comes down to us humans to bring that emotion, that intention, the unique perspective that makes art really hit home. Machines just can't replicate that, at least not yet.
That's a really cool way to think about it. AI enhancing our own creativity rather than trying to replace it. But what about the whole ethics side of this? Like if I use AI to help me write that hit song, who actually owns it? Me or the computer program?
Now you're getting into it. That question of ownership and originality in the world of AI. Yeah, artists, lawyers, policymakers, everyone's trying to figure that out right now.
Pretty existential when you really think about
Yeah.
it. Makes you question what creativity even means anymore.
Right, and it's only going to get more complex from here. But here's the thing. This isn't just a conversation for artists or musicians or whatever. It's relevant for all of us, even if you just doodle in your notebook.
How so? I don't really see how AI impacts someone who just likes to doodle as a hobby.
Think about it. Whether you're a pro or just like to dabble, AI is going to change how you create. The question is, how do you want to use those tools? What role do you want to play in this whole new world?
Okay, you've definitely given me a lot to think about when it comes to AI and creativity, but we can't really talk about AI without mentioning the 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? Big tech. They seem to have their fingers in every pie, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The article doesn't beat around the bush there. Big tech has a huge influence on how this is all unfolding. And I don't just mean making our phones a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
They're playing the long game.
What are you getting at? What's the end goal for big tech with all of this, in your opinion?
They are investing billions with a B in AI research and development, and they're focusing on stuff that could fundamentally change how we live, work, and interact with the whole world.
Okay, enough with the vague pronouncements. What areas are they focusing on? Give me the highlights.
The article mentions a few. There's enhancing machine learning, which is basically making AI even smarter and more adaptable.
Smarter AI, got it. What else?
Then there's multimodal AI, which is, well, think about how we experience the world.
You mean with, like, our senses?
Exactly. Sight, sound, touch, the whole 9 yards. Multimodal AI is about teaching machines to do the same thing.
So instead of just understanding words on a screen or a static image, this AI can process and learn from all sorts of data at once.
Exactly. It's like giving AI a more complete picture of the world. And then there's responsible AI, which, I know.
Sounds a little ironic coming from big tech, right? Like, we promise to be responsible this time, pinky swear.
I hear you, but basically it's about building AI systems that are designed to be fair, unbiased, and transparent in how they make decisions.
So no more biased algorithms or data sets that discriminate against certain groups of people.
That's the hope anyway. We need to make sure that if AI is making decisions that impact our lives, they're not based on faulty or skewed data.
Right, makes sense. Anything else?
Well, security and privacy are obviously huge, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
The more data we give these AI systems, the more crucial it is to make sure it's not going to be misused.
Isn't that kind of a catch-22, though? I mean, AI needs data to function, but the more data it collects, the more our privacy is potentially at risk.
It's a balancing act, for sure. But this article highlights a promising area called federated learning. It's a little complicated.
Try me.
Okay, so imagine a bunch of scientists working on a cure, but each one only has one part of the puzzle. With federated learning, they could combine their research without ever revealing their individual pieces to each other.
So AI could learn collaboratively, but without sacrificing anyone's privacy.
Exactly. It's a potential way to have our cake and eat it too. You get the benefits of big data, like smarter AI and deeper insights, but without putting individual privacy at risk. It's early days, but it's exciting.
Okay, I like the sound of that. But it still feels like, at the end of the day, big tech has all the power when it comes to this stuff.
It's a valid concern, for sure. But here's the thing. You have more power than you think.
Hold on, you're telling me I have more power than I think? I mean, I'm happy to like all the pro-ethical AI posts I see, but it doesn't feel like it's changing much.
It's not just about social media, though. Hey, every little bit helps. But seriously, it's about realizing that every single interaction we have with AI is actually shaping how it develops.
Yeah.
Every Google search, every time you buy that thing that Amazon recommended, it
Yeah.
all goes into the system.
So you're saying our choices actually matter? That even if we aren't the ones writing the code, we're still part of this giant feedback loop that's training the AI.
Exactly. The more we understand how these systems work, the more we can make conscious choices about how we interact with them. We can support the companies that are trying to do it right.
Right.
And we can demand more transparency from the big tech companies and push for regulations that protect us.
Wow, when you put it like that, it feels less like an it is what it is situation and more like we're all part of this giant AI experiment, which is kind of cool, but also a little terrifying.
It's both, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
exciting and a bit daunting. Because things are changing so fast, how do we even keep up, let alone make smart decisions about something so complex?
Right. It's a lot.
It is, but that's also what makes it so fascinating. Stay curious, ask questions, and never stop learning. That's how we navigate this.
Well said. And that actually leads perfectly into my final question.
Yep.
Is there one big takeaway you want to leave our listeners with today? Something to really mull over?
You know, I think Dr. Chen, the AI expert we mentioned, she summed it up perfectly when she said, we're not just developing new technologies, we're reshaping the very fabric of society. That really stuck with me. This isn't about some preordained future. We're all creating this.
That's a powerful thought. We're not just bystanders in this. We're active participants. And the future really is what we choose to make it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exciting and a little scary, like you said.
You could say that again. It's like we're standing at the very edge of something totally new and unknown, but with so much potential.
And that right there, that's what makes this whole conversation so important.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder. If AI is already this intertwined with our lives, what does it even mean to be human in this age of intelligent machines? It's a question we'll keep exploring right here on The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.
I am podcast. Real news analyzed by real intelligence.